Building self-esteem is a journey that many of us find ourselves on at some point in our lives. But what if I told you that you can supercharge this journey with the wisdom of Stoicism and the practical tools from cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT? Welcome to our video on how to build self-esteem, the triple column technique CBT. Today, we're diving into the heart of these two powerful philosophies to discover how they can transform the way you see yourself. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. Combine that with the triple column technique from CBT, a method designed to challenge and change negative thoughts, and you've got a formula for unshakable self-esteem. Stick with us as we break down these concepts, show you practical steps to apply them, and share stories of how they've made a real difference in people's lives. By the end of this video, you'll have actionable strategies to boost your self-esteem and live a more confident, fulfilling life. Ready to take control of your self-worth? Let's get started. The first practice involves defining self-esteem and understanding why it's crucial to our well-being. Self-esteem is essentially the value and respect we hold for ourselves. It affects our thoughts, how we feel about ourselves, and ultimately, how we engage with the world. When your self-esteem is healthy, you feel good about yourself and see yourself as deserving of respect. Conversely, low self-esteem can lead to a negative self-view and can significantly impact your mental health and life satisfaction. Now, let's delve into the Stoic approach to self-worth. Stoicism teaches that our worth isn't determined by external factors like wealth, status, or appearance. Instead, it's about our internal virtues, our character, wisdom, courage, and how we handle life's challenges. According to Stoic philosophy, true self-worth comes from living in accordance with our values, being true to ourselves, and focusing on what we can control. This mindset encourages us to let go of the need for external validation and instead find strength and confidence from within. By adopting this Stoic perspective, we align our sense of self-worth with our internal values, promoting a more stable and resilient self-esteem. In essence, self-esteem is not about how others view us, but how we view ourselves through the lens of our principles and virtues. This foundational understanding sets the stage for integrating Stoic principles with the triple column technique from CBT, paving the way for a profound transformation in how we perceive and value ourselves. The second practice involves understanding cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, and how it ties into Stoic principles to foster a resilient self-esteem. CBT is a form of psychological treatment that helps people identify and change dysfunctional thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It operates on the premise that our thoughts directly influence our feelings and actions, and by altering these thoughts, we can positively impact our emotional well-being. One of the most effective tools within CBT is the triple column technique. This technique involves 3 columns. The first column lists automatic negative thoughts. The second column identifies the cognitive distortions associated with these thoughts. And the third column involves creating rational responses to challenge and replace the negative thoughts. By systematically dismantling these negative patterns, the triple column technique empowers us to rebuild our thought processes in a healthier way. Now, let's relate this to Stoic practices. Stoicism encourages us to be aware of our thoughts and to challenge those that do not align with our internal virtues and values. Just like CBT, Stoicism teaches that it is not external events that disturb us, but our judgments about those events. By using the triple column technique, we can apply Stoic principles to our daily lives. The process of identifying and challenging negative thoughts mirrors the Stoic practice of examining our perceptions and judgments. When we encounter a negative thought, we can ask ourselves, is this thought within my control? If it's not, we focus instead on what is within our control, our response and attitude. For example, if we think, I'm not good enough, we list this thought in the first column. In the second column, we might recognize it as a form of overgeneralization or a fixed mindset. In the third column, we counter it with a rational, Stoic-inspired response. My worth is not defined by this single moment. What's within my control is my effort and how I respond to challenges. This method helps us cultivate a resilient mindset aligned with Stoic virtues, focusing on internal strengths rather than external validation. By integrating the triple column technique with Stoic practices, we create a powerful synergy that not only combats negative thoughts, but also reinforces our self-esteem through a lens of wisdom and self-control. This dual approach ensures that our self-esteem is grounded in rationality and inner values, making it more stable and enduring. The third practice involves giving a step-by-step process on how to use the triple column technique with fun, relatable examples. Let's start with the first column, identifying automatic negative thoughts. Imagine you're about to give a big presentation at work. You might have a thought like, "I'm going to mess this up." Write this thought in the first column. The second column is for identifying cognitive distortions associated with this thought. In this case, you might recognize it as catastrophizing, where you're assuming the worst-case scenario. Write catastrophizing in the second column. Now, the third column is where we create a rational response. Think about how you would coach a friend in this situation. You might say, "I've prepared well for this presentation, and even if I make a mistake, it doesn't define my capabilities." Write this rational response in the third column. Let's try another example. Suppose you're invited to a social gathering and think, "No one there will like me." Write this thought in the first column. In the second column, identify it as mind reading, because you're assuming you know what others are thinking. Now, in the third column, your rational response could be, "I can't predict how others will react, but I can be open and friendly. Their opinions of me do not determine my self-worth." As you practice this technique, you'll start to see patterns in your thinking and become better at challenging and changing these negative thoughts. The beauty of the triple column technique is that it encourages us to pause and reflect, transforming fleeting negative thoughts into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. By consistently applying this method, we harness both CBT and Stoic principles, strengthening our self-esteem with each step. The fourth practice involves discussing common pitfalls and challenges in maintaining self-esteem, and how to overcome them using Stoic principles. One of the most common pitfalls is seeking external validation. We often fall into the trap of basing our self-worth on others' opinions or on societal standards. This external validation is fleeting and unreliable, leading to constant fluctuations in our self-esteem. Stoicism teaches us to internalize our sense of worth by focusing on our own virtues and values. By doing so, we cultivate a stable foundation for self-esteem that doesn't rely on external factors. When you catch yourself seeking validation from others, remind yourself of your internal strengths and virtues. Reflect on what truly matters to you and align your actions with those values. Another challenge is negative self-talk. It's easy to get caught up in self-critical thoughts, which can erode your self-esteem over time. Stoic practices encourage us to be mindful of our thoughts and to challenge those that are harmful or untrue. When you notice negative self-talk, ask yourself, is this thought rational? Is it helping me or hurting me? Replace negative thoughts with constructive, rational ones. For instance, if you think, "I failed at this task, so I must be a failure," counter it with, "Failure is just a part of learning and growth. I can improve and try again." Perfectionism is another pitfall that can undermine self-esteem. Striving for perfection often sets unrealistic standards, leading to feelings of inadequacy and disappointment. Stoicism teaches us to embrace our imperfections and focus on progress rather than perfection. Accept that mistakes are a natural part of the human experience and an opportunity for learning. Practice self-compassion and recognize your efforts and improvements, no matter how small. Facing setbacks and failures is inevitable, and how we handle them greatly impacts our self-esteem. Stoicism provides a valuable perspective by encouraging us to view setbacks as opportunities for growth. Instead of being discouraged by failure, see it as a chance to develop resilience and wisdom. Reflect on what you can learn from the experience and how you can apply that knowledge moving forward. This approach helps build a more resilient and adaptable sense of self-worth. Lastly, comparison with others is a common challenge that can negatively affect self-esteem. It's easy to fall into the habit of comparing ourselves to others and feeling inadequate as a result. Stoic philosophy reminds us that everyone has their own unique path, and that comparing ourselves to others is neither helpful nor fair. Focus on your personal journey and progress. Celebrate your achievements and recognize that your worth is independent of others' successes or failures. By identifying these common pitfalls and applying Stoic principles to overcome them, we can maintain a healthy and resilient self-esteem. Remember that building and sustaining self-esteem is an ongoing process, and practicing these strategies consistently will help you navigate challenges with greater confidence and inner strength. The wisdom of Stoicism, combined with practical tools from CBT like the triple column technique, provides a powerful framework for fostering a robust and enduring sense of self-worth. The fifth practice involves sharing real-life success stories or quotes from famous Stoics to illustrate the effectiveness of these techniques. Let's begin with the story of James, a young professional who struggled with low self-esteem due to constant comparisons with his peers. By integrating Stoic principles and the triple column technique into his daily routine, James began to transform his mindset. Every morning, he would spend a few minutes journaling his automatic negative thoughts, and then use the triple column technique to challenge and reframe them. Over time, he noticed a significant shift in his self-perception. Instead of feeling inferior to his peers, he started focusing on his unique strengths and the progress he was making. James found that by letting go of external comparisons and aligning his actions with his internal values, he developed a more resilient and confident sense of self-worth. Now, let's draw inspiration from Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic philosopher, who once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This quote underscores the core principle of both Stoicism and CBT. Our thoughts shape our reality. By applying the triple column technique, we empower ourselves to cultivate positive and rational thinking, leading to a healthier and happier life. Another enlightening quote from Epictetus states, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This Stoic wisdom aligns perfectly with the essence of CBT, where changing our reactions to thoughts can dramatically improve our emotional well-being. Consider the case of Sarah, a teacher who faced severe anxiety before teaching large classes. She would often think, "I'm not as good as the other teachers," which hindered her performance. Through the triple column technique, Sarah identified this thought as mind reading and restructured it with a rational response. "I bring my unique experiences to teaching, and I have valuable insights to share." By consistently applying this technique, Sarah built a strong sense of self-esteem and confidence in her teaching abilities. Another powerful story comes from John, who struggled with perfectionism. He constantly felt that if his work wasn't flawless, he was a failure. By studying Stoicism, John learned to embrace his imperfections and view mistakes as opportunities for growth. Using the triple column technique, he would write down thoughts like, "I can't make any mistakes," recognize it as an unrealistic expectation, and replace it with, "Perfection isn't necessary for success. My efforts and progress are what truly matter." This shift in perspective helped John reduce his anxiety and foster a more resilient self-esteem. One more inspiring quote from Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, is, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This quote highlights the importance of challenging irrational thoughts that cause unnecessary suffering. By implementing the triple column technique, we can confront these imagined fears and replace them with rational, constructive thinking. These real-life stories and timeless Stoic quotes illustrate the profound impact that integrating Stoic principles and CBT techniques can have on building and maintaining self-esteem. By consistently applying these practices, we not only cultivate a more resilient and positive mindset, but also empower ourselves to lead more fulfilling and confident lives. In summary, we've explored how integrating Stoic principles with the triple column technique from cognitive behavioral therapy can profoundly enhance self-esteem. We began by understanding the essence of self-esteem and why it's critical to our well-being. We then delved into the Stoic perspective, which emphasizes internal virtues over external validation. Next, we examined the triple column technique, a powerful tool from CBT that helps us challenge and change negative thoughts. By combining these approaches, we can create a resilient and rational mindset that supports a stable and enduring self-esteem. We also discussed common pitfalls like seeking external validation, negative self-talk, perfectionism, setbacks, and comparison with others. and how Stoic wisdom can help us overcome them. Finally, we shared real-life success stories and inspirational quotes from famous Stoics to illustrate the effectiveness of these techniques. Now, I encourage you to apply the triple column technique and Stoic principles in your daily life. Start by journaling your automatic negative thoughts and use the triple column technique to reframe them with rational responses. Embrace your internal virtues, focus on what you can control, and let go of the need for external validation. Remember that building self-esteem is an ongoing journey, and with consistent practice, you'll develop a stronger, more resilient sense of self-worth. Let's conclude with this motivational message. You have the power to transform your thoughts and in turn your life. Embrace the wisdom of Stoicism and the practical tools of CBT to cultivate a positive and confident mindset. Believe in your worth, focus on your internal values, and take control of your self-esteem. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell for more insightful content. Keep striving for self-improvement and living your best life.